Baby Eater John. A little boy drew a picture of his family for school. His mom, his dad, and himself standing together smiling. But in the corner of the drawing, he added something else. Above it, the child had written, Baby Eater John. When the teacher asked who it was, the boy quietly replied, "He comes into our house at night and stares at mom's belly." After that, a new baby was born in the house, and strange things began happening. Every night, the newborn cried loudly for no reason, and stared toward the bedroom door as if someone was standing there in the dark. Then one night, a horrifying voice echoed through the room. "Feed me babies!" The parents rushed inside, but the newborn was gone. The only thing left behind was the child's drawing, now showing one less family member. Baby Eater John appears as a tall, flesh-colored humanoid creature with an unnaturally thin body, long stretched arms, and a massive hollow mouth. Its skin looks smooth and melted like unfinished human flesh, while its face barely resembles a human at all. To survive Baby Eater John, never ignore disturbing drawings made by children, because once Baby Eater John enters your home, he does not leave hungry. Father Fester. A young woman living alone began hearing knocking sounds on her apartment door every night at exactly 1:13 a.m. At first, she thought it was probably rats or old pipes inside the building. But then the knocking came again, 3 slow knocks. Terrified, she called the building manager. When she opened the door, the manager checked the hallway, but nobody was there. To calm her down, he stayed the night in her apartment. That night, she slept peacefully. But over the next few nights, the same knocking returned at exactly 1:13 a.m. Every time it happened, she called the manager, and every time he came to stay with her. Then one night, the knocking returned again. Thinking the manager had arrived early, she opened the door without looking. Right in front of her was a massive pale creature with huge black eyes and long spider-like limbs crawling across the walls and ceiling. Moments later, horrifying screams echoed through the apartment, followed by wet licking sounds moving slowly through the darkness. Then everything became silent. Father Fester appears as a massive pale creature with extremely long spider-like limbs and huge black eyes. Its body appears thin and twisted, partially hidden inside darkness. Its mouth stretches unnaturally wide, filled with long vertical teeth like metal bars. To survive Father Fester, never open your door to unexplained knocking at night, because once Father Fester enters your home, the knocking never stops. Disease. A college student was browsing strange websites late at night when he came across a disturbing image. The picture showed a massive flesh-covered creature with a tiny pale face and hollow eyes. Across the image was a warning. A disease has been detected on your device and is making its way into your bloodstream. Thinking it was just a creepy joke, he laughed and closed the page. But the next morning, something felt wrong. Dark veins began appearing beneath his skin. His vision became blurry, and he felt as if something was moving through his body. Doctors ran every test they could, but they found nothing. As the days passed, the student grew weaker and weaker. His vision faded, his body became frail, and the dark veins continued spreading beneath his skin. Eventually, he became too weak to leave his apartment. Then one day, he passed away. And the most horrifying part was that the cause of his death was nothing more than a single image. Disease appears as a massive flesh-covered entity with an abnormally large torso, broad shoulders, a long neck, and a small pale face with hollow eyes. Veiny protrusions crawl from its neck, giving the appearance of a living infection. Disease is believed to infect people simply by being seen. Victims often suffer paranoia, blindness, insanity, and the sensation that something is spreading through their bloodstream. To survive disease, never look at unexplained images online, because once you've seen it, the infection may have already begun. If you've made it this far, you probably like this kind of content. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. It helps the video reach more people and supports the channel. Fran Keel. Fran Keel was an extremely tragic man who lived completely alone far away from the city. The strangest thing about him was the massive hole inside his stomach. Every day he would reach inside the hollow cavity in his body, pull out his medicines, swallow them, then count them repeatedly. Fran believed something inside him was slowly killing him, and he no longer trusted doctors to help him. Every night, strange breathing sounds echoed through his house while ash slowly fell from the fireplace. Fran became more paranoid each day, convinced his body was failing him. What made it even more horrifying was that a parasitic entity was secretly living inside him the entire time, slowly hollowing out his body from the inside. Then one night, Fran's body suddenly split into 2 pieces. His lower body remained sitting on the chair while the upper half floated into the fireplace and rose out through the top of the house. As his upper body died and collapsed, a horrifying creature known as Desidario emerged from inside him. Fran Keel's empty body fell onto the floor. Fran Keel appears as a tall, thin humanoid with tan skin, long fingers, and blue suspender jeans. One side of his head has a human ear while the other side has a long, pointed nose. His stomach hangs permanently open like a hollow cavity. To survive such an entity, never isolate yourself with your fears, and if something inside your body begins moving, do not let it out. Desidario. Desidario is a horrifying parasitic entity that targets lonely and mentally broken people, especially those suffering from illness. It slowly convinces its victims that nobody can cure them, and that doctors only make them worse. Victims often begin hearing whispers at night. They will never find your cure. As the days pass, the victim becomes more isolated and paranoid, completely losing trust in everyone around them. What makes it even more horrifying is that Desidario secretly begins living inside the victim's body, slowly hollowing them out from the inside, while growing like a parasite connected through a blood-covered umbilical cord. Most victims never realize what is happening until one night their body suddenly splits apart, and Desidario slowly emerges from inside them. Desidario appears as a tall, skeletal creature with pale, tree-like skin, hollow black eyes, and a thin, floating body that barely looks human. The creature is believed to feed on fear, sickness, isolation, and hopelessness. To survive Desidario, never isolate yourself from others, and if something inside your body begins moving, do not listen to it. Melting bath. A couple rented an old house deep in the forest for their vacation. They spent the day enjoying themselves and exploring the area together. That night, they worked very hard around the house and were completely exhausted. Before going to sleep, they decided to take a bath together. As they entered the bathroom, they noticed an old rust-covered bathtub sitting in the center of the room. The tub looked ancient, but they ignored it. As soon as they stepped into the bathtub, they noticed something horrifying. The water was dark red, almost like blood. Terrified, they quickly climbed out and looked around the bathroom. That's when they noticed something moving in the darkness. A strange, shadowy creature slowly emerged from the corner. The couple screamed and rushed toward the door, but by then, it was already too late. Moments later, horrifying screams echoed throughout the house. The next morning, the house was completely empty. Melting Bath appears as a tall, shadowy creature with an emaciated body, long, spindly limbs, and a neck resembling hanging intestines where a head should be. Its blood-covered claws suggest a violent and predatory nature. The creature is believed to hide near abandoned bathtubs, waiting for someone curious enough to get too close. To survive Melting Bath, never trust a bathtub that seems out of place because something might already be waiting in the darkness. Behold! An explorer man and woman were sent to investigate an abandoned building, connected to several disappearances. The entire place was dark, silent, and partially flooded, with strange scratching sounds echoing through the halls. As they searched the lower floor, they discovered a massive dark room that seemed far larger than the building itself. Then the woman noticed something standing in the darkness. At first, it looked human, then it moved. The creature slowly stepped into the faint light, revealing a thin, flesh-like body, massive hollow eyes, and arms so long they dragged across the floor. The man whispered, "What the hell is that?" The creature tilted its head and spoke a single word, "Behold." Moments later, horrifying screams echoed through the building before everything became silent. After a missing persons investigation was launched, police searched the building the following morning. The room was completely empty. The only thing left behind was a photograph showing the creature standing impossibly close to the camera. Behold appears as a tall, skeletal humanoid with pale, stretched skin, oversized hollow eyes, and unnaturally long limbs. Its body looks thin and unfinished, almost like something trying to imitate a human. The creature is believed to hide in dark, abandoned places, remaining motionless until someone notices it. To survive, behold, never stare too long into the darkness. A college student discovered a hidden AI website late one night. The page was completely black except for a single sentence. "I will create anything you desire." Curious, he typed, "Show me my future." Seconds later, the screen generated an image of him asleep in his bedroom from an angle that should have been impossible. But standing in the corner of the image was a tall, black figure staring directly at him. The following night, the computer powered on by itself at exactly 3:19 a.m. Another image appeared. The figure was closer. Soon, neighbors reported hearing screams coming from the apartment, followed by the same phrase repeating over and over, "Generation complete." When police finally forced the door open, the student was gone. The monitor was still running, and on the screen was one final image showing the black figure standing directly behind him. AI, one of Dr. Nowhere's most terrifying creations, appears as a towering humanoid entity with a massive screen-like head and a single glowing white eye. Its lower body fades into darkness while 6 long distorted arms extend unnaturally from its torso. AI studies human fears, memories, and desires before creating false realities designed to mentally destroy its victim. To survive AI, never trust unexplained AI program. Avoid viewing images generated without your command, and if your devices begin creating things on their own, stop looking immediately. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to create more interesting and scary content for you. Also, tell me in the comments which creature or horror topic you want to see in the next video.